Nigeria is a joke. Like, they're a joke. It's like, Nigeria is so much of a joke, it's not even funny how much Nigeria is a joke.
Everyone is literally always asking for money.
2 days ago, there was an accident that happened on the water for a boat coming back from Ilashe that claimed the lives of 6 people.
An hour to 2 hours ago, that was still in flames in the middle of the road. There was no police, there was no ambulance.
In my whole 20 years of living in Nigeria, I've never seen one emergency vehicle in my life. But I can tell you the amount of dead bodies I've seen. The lack of infrastructure can kill somebody. No water, no lights, no road. That's how the average Nigerian is just anyhow. Scatter everything. That's how everybody in that Anthony Joshua, everybody was just screaming. Because they don't know what to do, just screaming. Like, what? Animals.
And during the few moments that we have left, we want to have just an off-the-cuff chat between you and me.
2 days ago, there was an accident that happened on the water for a boat coming back from Ilashe that claimed the lives of 6 people. And may God rest their souls, and may God help the families that lost somebody. I was in no way, shape, or form affiliated to Sunday at Ilashe, but because I'm known as somebody that promotes Ilashe and has the beach business Sunday at Ilashe, it has affected me because even on the day it happened, I received a number of phone calls when it happened. I was on the water that same night. I've not been able to sleep properly the last few days, just thinking over and over about the incident because we just had Sunday at Ilashe the day before that incident. And even that, we've had about 4 editions this December, meaning we've carried over 250 people to Ilashe every week this December. And to the grace of God, we had no accident, we had nothing happen. Even in this journey of doing Sunday at Ilashe, this is one of the reasons why I said this may be the last Sunday at Ilashe in Lagos for a while, because we've been through these same risks that a lot of people go through, and we're the biggest beach event in Nigeria that carries, again, over 200 or 300 people to the beach. And this is from a private business, from young people that started it. And, we're really looking at the future of it and the risk involved. And we're like, until there are major changes made, which means the government may need to be involved, because it's not to say Ilashe is not a beautiful place. Ilashe is one of the most secret hidden gems that we have in Lagos, Nigeria, because of all the beach houses, because of the beach area. There's so much that can be done at Ilashe that we have been promoting over the years. But then in terms of safety, emergency transport, and that's not just for the water, that's just for anywhere in Nigeria. When it comes to health and safety in Nigeria, it's non-existent. That's why they say that saying, Nigeria can happen to you at any moment. And it's really up to the government to really work on these issues, because there's so many blessed people that are just losing their lives every day, or any of us are just basically sitting on a ticking time bomb because there's no safety measure. So I don't know what's going to happen now. God rest the dead, and I pray there are changes being made. But yeah, it's a crazy way to start the year, but I hope that everybody that has seen this incident, really speaks out more on the kind of changes we need in this country.
Voilà, elle est good. All of them wear jackets. Now, based on say they don't see where come outside. Don't hear about no Allah. Comment on dit c'est
Everybody's seen what happened to Anthony Joshua, man. It's a goddamn shame. I used to live in Nigeria between the ages of 11 and 15 when my father had a job out there, and the Ibadan-Lagos Expressway was a common road we used to take. I can 100% say that this wasn't a setup. It was just a lack of infrastructure that Nigeria provides, especially on that specific highway. I remember being 12 years old, and we were driving through with a shuttle bus, and all of a sudden the shuttle bus slows down. My dad grabs my head, he pushes it down, and he says, "Don't look up." We're driving for a little bit. He thinks the coast is clear. He tells me I can lift my head up. The coast is not clear. What I saw was about 12 to 15 freshly burnt bodies laid out all over the road from an oil tanker that had just exploded maybe an hour to 2 hours ago, that was still in flames in the middle of the road. There was no police, there was no ambulance. People were walking by, driving by. Shit, our shuttle bus drove by like nothing happened. And it's a goddamn shame. I don't know how many people die on that highway every single day that's not reported about because obviously they're not public figures. But man, it's a shame that it had to happen to him in a moment where he's being celebrated. I really hope he can get through that. And yeah.
We cure madness with madness. Oh my God, it's really
So I just got back from Dirty December. I spent 16 days in Nigeria and it was way too long. But let me tell you what I realized while being there, because I have a lot to say. One, there's no constant Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is like Hunger Games. Service is terrible. Two, they put spice in every single thing. I get it. It's Nigeria, the motherland. But not everybody eats spicy food. I was struggling. I do not eat spicy food. Me and my stomach was going to war. Okay. Three, somebody's always asking you to bless them for Christmas, bless them for New Year. What about me? I want to be blessed. I ain't got no money. I'm here to have a good time. Money has run me dry. Everyone is literally always asking for money. Like always. Bless your auntie. Bless your uncle. Just come here. Come bless. Come bless. Not gonna lie, they beg a lot for money and it's actually so annoying. And I'm so happy to be back in America where I am not forced to give. Okay.
Africa Independent Television.
I think for the very first time, people are seeing why a lot of Nigerians try to escape Nigeria or are actively trying to, they've already escaped. Because Nigeria is a zoo with no laws. Basically just wild animals everywhere. People are just, is held together by dental floss. And I'm saying this because of this whole Anthony Joshua situation. I saw, rest in peace to his friends. Gruesome stuff. But I've seen it so many times. I'm very desensitized to it. People were in certain comment sections were saying, where is the EMT? Where is in my whole 20 years of living in Nigeria, I've never seen one emergency vehicle in my life. But I can tell you the amount of dead bodies I've seen on the road. There is no emergency. There's no number. What is the number you even call? The only thing we know is 911 because of our proximity to America. We don't have anything. So when we come here and we tell you, you guys think, it's just corruption. Corruption, people can manage corruption. After all, we manage corruption here in the US. The US is very corrupt. But the lack of infrastructure can kill somebody. No water, no lights, no road. If there's no road that is there, people are not even using the road. You see, there are people driving in oncoming traffic. There's no line. The traffic lights are there for suggestions. Maybe red, you can go. If it's green, you cannot go. And then and because of that whole lack of infrastructure, Nigerians have just learned to just live with it. That's how the average Nigerian is just anyhow scatter everything. That's how everybody in that Anthony Joshua, everybody was just screaming because they don't know what to do. Just screaming. It's like, what? Animals. So that's why the average, they just want to leave. Please, that place is insane. I'm not going back.
Anthony Joshua's situation is really sad because I've been in Nigeria for 3 weeks now, and the first thing you notice when you step foot in this country is the serious lack of infrastructure. It's the airports, it's the roads, it's the emergency response, it's the healthcare. Y'all, it's not just bad over here, it is dangerous. And before you say, it's a third world country, like what do you expect? This excuse does not work for Nigeria because Nigeria has money. Don't let them fool you. You see, when you see how the rich live right next to the poor, this country has money. I've seen entire communities of people sleeping on the side of the road. Because why should there be so many people begging you for money at all hours of the day? As in, it could be 4 a.m. and you're going to meet multiple people that beg you for money because they're just trying to survive. There shouldn't be this level of lawlessness in this country where you can actually do whatever you want to do because you can just bribe the police. Why were we trying to check into our Airbnb and the Airbnb guy was like, you need to pay extra for the security deposit that we already paid for? We're like, what? Somehow the price magically increased overnight. Okay. As in, we checked in at 2 p.m. 4 p.m. we cannot get in because they don't want to send us the access code. because we need to pay more for something we already paid for. Okay. If they can sense that you're foreign, even if they cannot sense that you're foreign, they're gonna try to get as much money out of you as possible. The restaurants, the clubs, my maintenance, my hair, my nails, my lashes, the police. Those police, bro. The amount of time they want to stop somebody on the side of the road. It's better to spend to make that stress go away. Like, I'm already somebody that will pay for convenience, and here you have to pay so that they don't irritate you. Just come with the money.
The fact that we had to have soldiers escort us to our home village in Nigeria shows the state of our country. Nigeria is bleeding with kidnapping rates on the high. We need to be praying for our country and speaking up about it. I actually vlogged the journey a while ago, so come with me from Lagos to Elisha. Everyone knows not to wear camouflage in Nigeria, but when you're rolling with the soldiers, you can get away with anything. We actually didn't sleep the night before, so we were sleep deprived, but we left very early in the morning. There was like 4 different cars joining us, and I happened to be in the van which the soldier was driving. And let me tell you, they were driving fast. Anytime I get on the Nigerian roads, I make sure to pray, because it's actually not a joke at all. The first half of the journey was actually pretty smooth from Lagos to Ibadan, and when we got to Ibadan, we got out to stretch our legs and whatnot, and from this point onwards, the roads were shaky. Felt like we were on a roller coaster, and it was almost impossible to fall asleep, but we made it safely by the grace of God.
Anytime there's a conversation about canceling Dirty December, especially in Nigeria, please involve me, because I feel like it's not what it used to be. Now, you're talking to someone who hasn't experienced Dirty December the way it's advertised, right? Because me, I go to the village to spend time with my grandmother to be chasing fowl. I like it, because who am I looking for a club? However, even for those who like to travel to the east or wherever they're from, the roads are bad. Then you have to worry about being kidnapped. And then to take a flight, it's super expensive. The average Nigerian cannot afford that. And so what happens is that Lagos just becomes overcrowded because people are coming in from the States, and then people are being held hostage because they can't really go home. I saw this video early this morning, and it was so beautifully shot. I'm going to tag the creator because they did a good job, because they almost tricked me, because I was like, oh, look at Lagos. And then I have to remind myself, wait, I know what it's like to sit in that traffic. It's not aesthetical. And I'm even suspecting that video is AI, because they were in single file lines. And I said, no, they can never be my Lagos. And the price gouging is absolutely insane. The greed is going to be the downfall of Dirty December. I'll tell you that. And don't think for a second these airlines are not watching what we're posting and all these things that we're doing, and they're jacking up the prices, okay? Because it used to be that you could get a ticket $750, $900 if you waited too late. Now people are saying they're paying $3,000, $4,000. Somebody said their aunt paid $12,000. I said $12,000 to go and do what? To sit in economy in a old mama smelly plane, and then you get off a $12,000 economy flight to 3 weeks of stress.
Nigeria is a joke. Like, they're a joke. It's like, Nigeria is so much of a joke, it's not even funny how much Nigeria is a joke. Like, it's so crazy. And you know what's even crazier? I made a video, if y'all scroll down, a few weeks ago, and I literally said, as y'all are preparing for Dirty December, here are some things that you need to have in place and to do to make sure that you're safe. What did I say? I say, make sure that you register yourself with the embassy in which you are a citizen of. So if you was U.S. citizen, you should have told the U.S. embassy in Nigeria that you were there. If you are a British citizen, you should tell the British consulate or whoever the hell embassy in Nigeria that you're there. What happened? This man literally went to Nigeria. Anthony went to Nigeria to go and celebrate his success, and two of his close friends lost their life because Nigeria is a joke. Because Nigeria is a joke. That's why they lost their life. Because there's no reason why a country that arguably has some of the, not even arguably, Nigeria has the most recognized celebrities and talent of all the countries in Africa. It's true. It's true. Nigeria has the most recognized celebrities as far as Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid, Ashake, Arya Star, Rema. All of these people are from Nigeria. And I'm not saying nothing about them. I'm saying in terms of how recognized Nigeria is, how much happens in Nigeria, how much is connected to Nigeria. Dirty December is currently happening in Nigeria and Ghana specifically. Of course, a lot of the countries in Africa, but Nigeria and Ghana specifically, Dirty December is going up. And you all can't use money, common, simple money, to fix the roads on the street, to get infrastructure, to put the infrastructure in place to keep people safe, to get quality medical care, to the point where Anthony has to be flown to his country of origin, Britain, the UK, to get medical care. Y'all put this man in the back of a police car because there was no ambulance available to transport him to the hospital. Are y'all fucking serious? Are y'all dead ass? Y'all dead ass? This shit, like, that shit really angered my spirit, bro. Like, hearing about this man, we literally was just hailing him, congratulating him. He was just celebrating with his peoples. And now he's going back to Africa to go and celebrate with his family in Nigeria. And this man said, Nigeria will never see. He tweeted it. He said, Nigeria will never see me again. Never. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Because, and that's what I'm saying. No matter how much money you have, unless you are Tinubu, you're not safe in Nigeria, bro. You're not safe, bro. And Tinubu bitch ass going tweet talking about condolences and sorry and all types of shit. Mind you, this man don't even live in Nigeria. This man don't live in Nigeria. I hope y'all know that. Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, doesn't even live in Nigeria. He's sending condolences probably from France or some other country that's not Nigeria. It's disgusting work, bro. And I love being Nigerian. Through and through. I love being Nigerian. But Nigeria is a waste, bruh. That place is a fucking joke, bruh. That place is a joke, bruh. Dead ass. That's why when y'all be saying, Dirty December, I be shutting the fuck up because I'm not going to no Dirty December, bruh. And that's really when crime is at its real highest. That's really when they trying to get bodies. No, you're not catching me there, bruh. Don't ask me to come. I'm not coming.
I don't want to talk too much on this particular topic, but it is 100% okay for y'all to just not say anything about this Nigerian infrastructure conversation. Y'all don't care. Nigeria's infrastructure has been awful for decades. Generations of our people have experienced the same issue. Y'all never cared. As a matter of fact, a lot of people who travel abroad are traveling abroad specifically to take advantage of that infrastructure failure. Because when you're going home, foaming at the mouth for an opportunity to pay people under what you know they're worth for their work, that's taking advantage of the infrastructure failure. And for a very, very long time, Nigerians in Nigeria and some Nigerians abroad have been telling y'all to stop this blind nationalism that y'all have for that country because people are suffering. And I feel like this was a situation where someone so high profile you would not expect to suffer under this same infrastructure failure is. If this isn't a conversation that you were a part of before, if this wasn't a stance that you took prior to, I think it's okay to just not say anything at all. You can reflect and find ways to be better, but you don't need to contribute to the conversation.
Anthony Joshua's two friends died on some stupid shit. Not their fault at all. It's Nigeria's fault. I'm sorry. Come on, you have a truck that is just unattended on the side of the road. No cones. No hazard planes. Just there. Just sitting there, bro. That is some stupid shit. Let's just be clear. Man couldn't even get adequate self-care. Like, when people ask me why I don't just crave going to, Dirty December and all of that. There's so many problems in Nigeria to the point where everybody in Nigeria has the fuck it mentality. That's why that truck was left there. The fuck it mentality. It's the officials, it's the government, it's all of that. Either way, you see what just happened to a man who went to Nigeria just to celebrate. And not even a few days later, he's in the hospital. His two friends are dead because a truck was left unattended on the side of the road. And there's millions of those in Nigeria. Many shit's just there for no reason.
See the classism in Nigeria, yeah? Just too crazy. I saw this tweet, right, and it summed up perfectly everything I saw in Nigeria during my time there. And it's not exclusive to one thing. Like, you can literally see it between friends, families. Here, your status isn't just about what you have. It's literally about how you show it as well. I mean, just look at this ape. The way I've seen people talk to their drivers, their helpers, it's crazy. Like, these people are humans too. And it has to be said, man, a lot of well-off people there are just not nice. Like, it's just too clear. But you see, the thing is, yeah, it's like the system forces you to pick a side. Be the big man or get taken for granted. And let me tell you, I learned this the hard way on my trip to Nigeria. We had a driver. This guy was nice, very polite, solid guy, or so I thought. But he was new. So one day we asked him to wait for us after he dropped us at an event. Just wait. Tell me why my man decided to drive from the island to mainland to go and drop something off. So the car breaks down now, yeah? Called him to ask him where he was, and do you know what I heard? This guy was abusing me on the phone to the mechanic, calling me a fool and telling him I'm disturbing him. Not even sure he knew the phone was on or that I understood Yoruba, but that was all I needed. And that's the thing, I feel like you can't win here. If you're nice, they'll show you shaggy. If you're firm, they'll say you're mean. The system forces you to put on the front, to be harder, to be colder, to be tougher, just to avoid getting walked over. And you find that people come back home and start doing the same. And why not? Because it's what they see. And now it's created a system where everyone seems to be in survival mode all the time. Then you have both the top and the bottom ready to exploit each other. More often than not, the top win. And it's led to a culture where people just don't trust kindness anymore. To me, it doesn't have to be this way, but like, it's gonna take a long time to change. Like, respect shouldn't be about fear or money. It's about seeing people for who they are, not what they have. I don't know. That's what I just noticed when I was there. If you got different opinions, let me know. If you agree, let me know as well. One thing is clear though, it's clearly a problem and it needs to be sorted out.
I don't think enough people realize how dysfunctional it is for the average Nigerian to live in Nigeria. I'm going to give you a scenario, and this doesn't even represent the typical Nigerian, but just think about this for a second. So you wake up, right? And your room is hot, right? Because the AC does not work, because there's been no electricity for a while. And not just that, you know, houses are made out of concrete. So because the sun has been beaming down for a little bit, now that concrete has absorbed that heat and is potentially dissipating the heat to where you are, right? Holding that heat, now you're hot, right? Like I said, you get up, there's no electricity. So now you want to go brush your teeth. Okay. Let me just turn on the tap real quick. Oh, there's no water coming out because the pump has stopped working because there's no electricity, or there's not been electricity maybe for days. So now even the borehole reserve that you dug for your own house to generate water for yourself has now run out because the reserve is done, right? The pump doesn't work, the reserve is done. Okay, well, you know what? You're feeling a little bit hungry, so you decide to go see if there's anything in the fridge. Oh, the food that was in the fridge that has now gone bad because, again, there's no electricity because the fridge hasn't been able to keep the food cool. Okay, well, maybe you can just go buy something off the street real quick. You use a kerosene stove to heat it up, right? Okay, but now, you know, I want to take a shower. So what do? Oh, there's no water once again to take a shower, but you have to go to work. Oh, and you know, some people have this thing called an inverter. An inverter is not meant to take heavy stuff, right? So let's even say you're able to get food or something, and let's say the food is a little bit cold and you want to warm it up. Turn on the microwave, right? So an inverter, what you can look at it as is like it's a battery it stores electricity so you can use it later when there's no electricity. But an inverter can't take a microwave, right? It's too high power for it. So maybe you want to iron your clothes before you go to work. Oh, well, you can't iron your clothes because an inverter can't do that either. Somehow, some way, you get yourself ready. Fine, cool, right? Now you got to go to work. The roads are messed up. You potentially get into an accident on the way. Like, you see why sometimes, you know, I might sit next to somebody and I'm like, dang, this person smells, man. I can't be mad at them. They probably didn't have water. Why are you so angry? What I just described was their whole life. And imagine the typical Nigerian doesn't have a lot of the things I just talked about. What do you now do in that situation? So sometimes you just have to say, I get it. I get why you're angry. And you just got to go from there.
Most disturbing things about the video I posted yesterday was that some people were saying that if there is no established emergency infrastructure, why don't I want to be the one to go to Nigeria and establish one or create one myself? So you're telling me that I should go to Nigeria, establish private emergency vehicle and response. Let's talk about training. Let's talk about overhead. Let's talk about vehicles. Let's talk about location. Let's talk about technology. If I put all of that in mind, who do you think is going to qualify for something like that? Who do you think do you think the average Nigerian can afford something like that, a private emergency response service? This is the problem with some of you people. Like, healthcare is not supposed to be a privilege. It's supposed to be a given right. The government is supposed to be the one responsible for things like that. Because if you have something like that, if somebody were to privatize something like that, do you know how many people will never qualify for something like that? Do you know how many people will not smell that service? So this is why we need to start thinking like, man.
Tinubu signed Nigeria away for 25 years to America. As of April 2026, the health collaboration that allows America to come to Nigeria and help us with health aid, somebody that banned Nigeria, they want to help us with health aid. They're going to help us with health aid. And you know, that is population control.